Today, we gotta break down that banner that comes down oh so few times a year, that banner where it is finally the boys. Time to shine. What's going on YouTube? Kawaii50 here, doing the banner breakdown for the Chaldea Boys Collection. DW, if you're watching this, high level DW exec sitting up in your tower, sitting on your piles of money, you gotta give more love to those players who love the dudes. They're just as important. Seriously, more banners featuring more dudes. Alright everyone, so how banner breakdown works is we are going over what is on offer on the banner from a totally meta standpoint. Not rolling for your husbando or whatever. That tier list exists solely in your heart. Instead, we are going to look at some of the best stuff on offer on the banner. I'm not going to go over absolutely everything we got because that's just going to take up too much time, and your time is valuable. So let's just go ahead and dive straight into some of the best things this banner has on offer, starting with our craft essences. At the end of the video, we'll give the banner an overall grade and tell you whether or not it's worth summoning. Now we're just going to talk about what I think is the best craft essence on this banner straight up out of the gate, and that is Detective Edmund Foreign Nation Infiltration Arc, or the Dante's Files, whatever really works for you. So the Dante's Files is actually a phenomenal craft essence that gives us Buster and Art's performance up 10% and NP generation rate plus 10%. Max limit broken, that's going to give us 15% on each of those. Now, who benefits the most from this craft essence, you might ask? Well, if you got any of the foreigners, you are set with this craft essence. Both Abigail and Hokusai are honestly my top picks for equipping this craft essence. It gives them things they desperately need, it ups their cards that they use the most, and especially in Abby's case, it increases that NP generation rate, which she really needs. Now, if you have either of those characters and you love them and you're really looking to power them up, this is a craft essence really worth rolling for. The other big winner I want to talk about from craft essences comes from the 4-star lot, and it is Gâteau au Chocolat, featuring Karna, looking incredibly dashing. Now this CE grants Buster performance plus 8%, NP damage plus 10%, and critical damage plus 10%. So this craft essence ironically is really good on his brother Arjuna. Arjuna benefits from literally every part of this craft essence, and it's going to really help make him stronger, especially with his sort of weird card setup. But I would go even further to say that pretty much any Buster Archer that exists in the game is going to benefit incredibly from this craft essence. So if you need to buff up your Archer, if you need a craft essence on them, this, again, really worth rolling for. Now, of course, there are two other craft essences on this banner. Star of Camelot are 5-star, and the Sun and Gold Gamblers are 4-star. 3 stars I'm not even going to bother talking about. These craft essences are okay. I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to gun for them if you're really looking to buff somebody up. Star of Camelot, I might recommend putting on like a Lancer or something like that if you have a crit Lancer that really needs to leech those crit stars. But other than that, I would say they are kind of mediocre at best and not something you should really try looking for. And of course, we've got our banners. Proto Arthur is going to be on rate up every single day, which makes sense because he's getting a brand new costume you're going to get for logging in on this event. As far as servants to go for, Proto Arthur, he's just okay. He's actually not super great. He's really good against beast type enemies, but if you're looking for an AoE saber, there are a lot of other AoE sabers out there that are a lot better. Specifically, in my opinion, Altera being a magnificent stat stick. Just Proto Arthur, you could have been better. You really could have been better. Hopefully you'll get a strengthening quest in the future. But there are other servants on this banner that are really good, and if you're thinking about rolling on this banner, maybe you're rolling for Proto Arthur and you want to get a consolation prize, here are the banners you should focus on. So there is going to be a banner on one of these days where Karna is on rate up in addition to Proto Arthur. Karna, easily the best AoE Lancer in the entire game, especially after he got his Noble Phantasm Strengthening quest. The Noble Phantasm Strengthening gives your enemy Buster resistance down, and I can tell you from fighting in previous events with Karna, hitting a triple Buster chain off of his Noble Phantasm just deals mad amounts of damage. Of course, if you're also looking to future-proof, Karna is getting a pretty fancy animation update in the future that looks really, really good. Maybe I put that up there for you guys. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do while I'm editing this. But if you really need a good Lancer on your team, there's a Karna day and an Enkidu day. Karna definitely the #1 to go for between those two. And the day after Karna, we have a Waver day. Waver, of course, being one of the premier supports in the game. Waver works on absolutely any team. All of his buffs work for absolutely anybody. There's really, if you've been playing the game for any amount of time, if you used a Waver, you understand that Waver is strong. If you need a support, if you are lacking any of these specific supports like Tamamo no Mai, like Merlin, and you just need somebody to buff up your team, Waver is absolutely worth going for. But the day after Waver, I've got to say, is probably the best day of the banner to roll. Now, the absolute best day of the banner to roll is easily when Ku Kulane Altar is on raid up. Ku Kulane Altar is monstrous. Ku is easily the best berserker in the entire game. Just take all of 3-star Ku's survivability abilities, chuck those on a berserker, getting that damage bonus every single time. Ku Altar is an absolute monster that can help you clear pretty much any challenge quest you could ever hope to fight. Seriously, a Ku Altar Merlin team, you can just throw anyone else you want on there. It doesn't really matter. Ku is going to absolutely clean house. I cannot stress this enough. If you need a damage dealer, if you need a berserker on your team, then this day is the day to roll for. You gotta do it. You gotta get that Ku Altar. But if you're not necessarily looking for that spicy berserker, but you do want somebody really strong on your team, I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend rolling on one of the later days of this whole banner run to try and get Ozymandias. Now, Ozymandias is a story servant. He can sort of show up randomly at any time in your gacha pulls, but getting him on raid up has been honestly pretty rare, and Ozymandias is really strong. He's able to charge everyone's Symbol Phantasm, he's got 2 separate attack buffs, and the damage he can deal is just absolutely absurd. He's also got a special skill just for him, where he can increase the percent chance of low percentage skills to pop even further than they already are. So if you've ever wanted to run that spicy Imperial Privilege team, maybe Ozzy, Nero, Romulus, you can totally do that. He will sort of buff that ability, make all those characters more consistent, and just make the team really fun to run. So if you're looking for a super strong single target rider, Ozymandias is the one to go for. And those characters are honestly all of the best characters on this banner. But even with all of these strong characters on raid up, even with all of these chances to get these crazy characters, I have to overall give the Chaldea boyz collection 2018 banner 5 out of 10. We're going to go off the 10 scale. I really wish Proto Arthur was better. Proto Arthur, if he was a better get, would have really helped push this banner's potential up higher. There's only a couple days on here to get some really good characters on raid up, and all of those characters are 5-star at that. So even though they're on raid up, your chances of getting them are pretty low. And as for the craft essence pool, while there are 2 really good craft essences I thought were worth mentioning in this pool, there's still only 2 of them, and the overall craft essence pool is like 8 different craft essences. So I don't really think that there's a big chance to get some maximum gains on this banner. Now, if you really need a character to fill out your team, I would definitely recommend pulling on one of those days I previously mentioned for that specific character. But if you're just looking to throw Saint Quartz to throw Saint Quartz, if you're not really super stoked on a husbando, I would say hold off on pulling till maybe later, because there's a lot of phenomenal banners coming out this year. But anyways, that's my overall take on Chaldea boyz collection 2018. I want to know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Is there a specific husbando you're looking to roll for? Is there maybe a craft essence you want to get off of this? Do you maybe wish that there was another character that was on raid up on this banner instead of the ones that are going to be on offer? Seriously, I want to know. go ahead and tell me which of them boys are your boys. This is Kawaii50 again, hoping you have a phenomenal day filled with a lot of lovely boys. I will see you all in the next video.